What is up, guys? My name is Greg and I'm a digital artist. With the release of Dominaria United coming out on September 9th, today I wanted to dig in a little bit into the art and celebrate a little bit of the original Dominaria released in 2018. So without further ado, let's get started. April of 2018 was the release of Dominaria. This set brought us some solid EDH staples, with the release of Blackblade Reforged and Helm of the Host. But I'm not here just to talk about some of my favorite cards. We're here to get into the art. So this first card I'm going to talk about today has seen 24 different printings going all the way back to Alpha. There's been 4 different artist renditions, not to mention the numerous amounts of borderless versions and etched foils to this. This card is Laniwar Elves. I think this art is so cool, having an elf wield these 2 dark blades at the center of the piece, while one of his homies is in the back like, what are you going to do about it? And if I can draw your attention to the back left of this piece, you got one little homie like, hey, just hanging there, peeking his head out behind the tree like, don't forget me. These guys look like they could drop a rap album today and it would be fire. As much as I love this art, I want to shed a little bit of light on the 7th edition art of this. Take a look at that elf's face and tell me he doesn't look like Nicolas Cage. Not the bees! Not the bees! This next card is, of course, a goblin. This is Squee the Immortal. Squee the Goblin! Now, I really like Squee. He's got this little sort of critter in his hand. Originally, I think I thought it was a brain. You know, he's got this little companion that I guess he takes with him. I feel like the art for the goblin looks amazing, but the minute you look at his face, it looks like it's copy and pasted onto his body. And if you put that same face on a potato, it would look the exact same. Now, I love Squee. There's all sorts of different renditions of him that you can run. I think he's a pain in the butt because you can just keep bringing him back and you can just bug everybody you play against. But of course, with the release of Dominaria United, we get a new Squee. And this art is spectacular. This is Squee Dubious Monarch. Now we get this legendary goblin that has the ability to create goblins as it attacks. While you still have that graveyard recursion where you're able to bring him back, and still keep hitting with him to bring goblins in. This is definitely a card, and in this particular art is one that's going to make it into my collection. So when there's one Squee, you know there's gonna be more. You can't help but understand that if you release somebody as cool looking as Squee in the original Dominaria, that you're gonna have to make up for it by creating a new one in the next release. Finally, this is the card of the day. Card of the day! This is History of Dominaria by Noah Bradley. Now, this art is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm convinced that this card helped pave the way for Magali Villanov's art for the basic lands in Dominaria United. Look at that stained glass. It looks absolutely beautiful, but you can't help but draw comparisons between the two of them. History of Dominaria has only been printed once in Dominaria, and if you make your way through all of the art in this set, this is the only one with stained glass. So you can understand why I can't help but draw comparisons between Magali Villanov's art for the basic lands in the new Dominaria United. In this art, we get this beautiful knight standing here, sort of your standard stained glass picture of a king or a knight standing with their sword. We get 3 daggers sort of pointing in while the sun sort of beats behind this knight. And while this knight is standing in mountains, they are overlooking the entire city. This is a really cool saga for a Knight tribal deck if you run one. Or if you just like the art, then this card is definitely worth collecting. Now, Noah Bradley has created a lot of art for Magic the Gathering, and I'm particularly surprised about the amount of land art that he's done. They're definitely an artist worth keeping on your radar, and they definitely have a lot of amazing art worth collecting. And with all that said, that concludes today's Magic the Gathering art discussion. If you have any outrageous art that you want to see discussed on my channel, please be sure to comment below. I look forward to reading your comments, and thank you so much for sticking around. Have a great day, and we'll catch you soon.